And the arguments I've had where people have said, one guy, been in my church for like 15 years, ever since it started. I thought I was one of the key guys. And he comes to me, just not too long ago, and he goes, Francis, here's the problem with you. He goes, you think everyone needs to be this radical. You think that Jesus calls us all to be radicals. He goes, you think there's just these few radicals, and he goes, there's this, you got to understand, there's this middle road where people, they profess Christ and they do some good things, and it's like you're neglecting that whole middle road. Did you guys know that? There's a narrow road that leads to life. There's a wide road that leads to destruction. And now there's this new middle road. See, I didn't know that. Like a carpool lane. It's just this weird new road we created where you can just do some good things in the name of Jesus and still hold. You're serious right now. You're dead serious. You found a middle road. You guys, I'm not a real, you got to understand, those who know me know that I'm not a real complicated guy. I tend to think like a kid. I tend to just go, wow, that seems like what it says. I remember when I was a kid, we used to play this game called Follow the Leader. Remember that? I mean, some of you guys don't, because you just played video games. But we used to play this game called Follow the Leader, where the leader, flaps his wings, and you do the same thing. And it was easy. You just do what the leader did. And it's so weird how in the church we've twisted this. And follow Jesus is a different game. You don't really have to flap your wings. You don't have accent. You can just sit there and do it in your heart. Seriously. When I read the scriptures, it says, man, whoever claims to know him must walk as Jesus walked. But we go, no, I'm doing that in my heart. You're like the kid sitting on the recliner going, no, I'm flapping my wings in my heart. It doesn't make sense. We distort things because of what we want. Remember Simon Says? That was easy, right? Simon Says, pat your head. But Jesus says it's a totally different game. If Jesus says something, you just have to memorize it. That's what we do in the church. If Jesus says, you just got to study it. You just have to be able to quote it in the Greek. It has nothing to do with, hey, Jesus says. Look, when my daughter, comes to me and I go, look, go clean your room. She knows better than to come back a few hours later and goes, Dad, I memorized what you said. I can say it in Greek. In fact, some of my friends, they're going to come over and we're going to do a little study on what it would look like to clean my room. It's not making sense to me. And all I can say is that we're twisting things. We do in the church, and we create this little way where we don't actually have to do what Jesus called.